the crowds have grown substantially, I think, since we first arrived here at 5 o'clock this morning. It's almost a sea of flowers now, I would say, outside the Balmoral Castle gates in certain places. There's messages from locals, yes, but there was even one from Australia that I was reading. There's many people, Balmoral and the surrounding area in Aberdeenshire is quite prone to tourists as well, and I've been seeing a number of foreign tourists come to pay their respects to Her Majesty the Queen, because I think that's one of the fundamental points here. Her Majesty was well known throughout the entire world. She was respected throughout the entire world, and she was head of state in 15 different nations. The King and the Queen left Balmoral Castle, we believe, earlier today, and then he got on a plane to RAF Norfolk back to London.
Reflect on what is happening with Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. We understand that her body will remain in the ballroom there in Balmoral for everyone on the estate workers to pay their own respects, because clearly this is a very difficult time for them at Balmoral, regardless of what else is happening across the UK.
Yes, the staff here would have been working very closely with Her Majesty the Queen right up until the end, and they would have had a very special relationship with her. You're right, as we understand it, Her Majesty's coffin is in the ballroom of Balmoral Castle, where staff today get to privately pay their respects before the long-planned operations are put into motion to eventually transport Her Majesty back to London. Because Her Majesty died at Balmoral Castle, an event called Operation Unicorn has been activated, and that is essentially the series of events which happens between now at Balmoral Castle, then to Edinburgh, and then eventually back to London over the next few days or so.
Yeah, and just
exactly what that is.
Just describe for us what the likely procedure
been confirmed.
Yeah, sorry, I was just wondering what the likely procedure is, as we understand it, that she will, as you say, be in Edinburgh for maybe a day or two as well. Will people be able to pay their respects there, or is this still effectively a private occasion?
So there's lots of plans in place. We understand from various finding out about these plans over the years that she would go to Edinburgh to lay in Holyrood House, and then there would be a service at a cathedral in Edinburgh as well. But details of exactly what those plans are have not been confirmed yet by Buckingham Palace.
Tell us about the family. We reflect this is a difficult time for a family as well as being a state occasion. We know that Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has left this morning and headed back down towards Windsor. Clearly, the King and Queen Consort have now left. Are the rest of the royal family still there?
So a source has told me that the Duke of Cornwall and Cambridge, as he's now known, that's Prince William, has left Balmoral Castle and has travelled back down to Windsor to be with his family. Of course, he is going to have to be part of the Accession Council tomorrow with the Queen as well, and senior government ministers and officials. So he has left. The Duke of Sussex, as you mentioned, left this morning without other members of the royal family. He left alone with his security detail, and the King and Queen Consort recently boarded a flight from Aberdeen to RAF Norfolk. They then travelled from Norfolk to Buckingham Palace, and it's there that we have witnessed something rather extraordinary actually in the last hour or so. He was greeting crowds in person outside the palace gates. People were chanting "God Save the King," and the royal standard above Buckingham Palace went up for the first time to notify that a king was now in residence.